Your morning blitz begins now.
Get that chance. Go play for a national championship. We're going to swing as hard as we possibly can. 1, 2, 3.
On the Blitz.
Have a great Friday, you mother...
That is the plan.
It's always the plan.
Friday. Yay. How we doing, kids?
It is my 21st wedding anniversary today.
That is truly awesome.
Do you believe it?
That is
21
truly
years
awesome.
ago today, I was getting ready to walk down the aisle with my beloved Charlie.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you probably don't feel like you wasted 17 years of your life, do you?
I do not. If we could pivot toward that, I was
Sorry, dude.
Is there
Oh
a
my
story
God.
time on
No,
this, or no
nonsense.
story time?
Oh, well, that was
Nonsense.
I mean, if anybody didn't figure it out by now,
Nonsense at all.
gee.
No, it's not about the 17 wasted years.
That
It's
is.
about the friends you made along the way.
That's not.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, I'm sorry,
I had
man.
a beer with one of my friends last night, and he's been going through it for a while. And
This is about your friend,
it is
quote
total-
unquote.
No, totally is. There's kids involved and everything else. And
Oh, he's been going through the same thing.
he sat there last night, and the first thing he said, without I could have queued it up any better. He's like, and he speaks like perfect English.
You know what drives me crazy?
What?
It's the time that I've wasted. I just can't get over the
Time that I've wasted. I'm like, dude, yes.
Does he really sound like that?
Oh yeah, he's awesome. If you saw him, he is
one of those. Okay.
No, he is. I'm not. It's going to make me sound like I'm not. His mom was awesome when she was alive, but she was a college English professor. So he speaks the most proper English of
I
any
would love to
human being
I would
you've
love to
ever
speak
met in
with
your
this
life.
person.
He's
love
awesome.
proper
He
English.
is just super clear.
Okay, listen. There is nothing better, nothing sweeter in life to hang out with a friend who is experiencing something very similar and being able to commiserate and have a couple beers. That is a great situation. It's cathartic. It's wonderful to be able to sort of unload on somebody who knows exactly how you're feeling.
And
then you can sort of move on from there.
And look, he's been dealing with it for a long time and everything, and you just, you feel for people because he's like, they're my kids. I can't just walk. I'm like, I get it, man. I understand that. You got baggage that I don't. Like, that's just
I mean, you kind of do.
But it was good. Also, I went through that medical stuff yesterday. Let me tell you, the first thing I did on the way home, stopped for some Raising Cane's.
Yeah.
What was your order? I gotta know.
Little Cane's combo.
Cane's combo, what does that include?
That includes 3 chicken tenders and some fries. I don't go slaw. I had the Texas toast with that, little cane sauce, little honey mustard, and a large unsweetened tea.
You had gone at that point maybe 28 hours without eating.
Correct. But that was not enough.
Oh, of course it wasn't.
I got home, let the dogs out, opened the fridge. Oh, yeah, the other half of that omelet is in there. Oh, yeah, it is.
Polish that bad boy
Damn
off?
right I did.
Oh, well done. Well done.
And then had a giant sub and a beer for dinner.
You're making up for lost time.
That's so funny. The last time I had to do that fast for 24 hours was before a colonoscopy.
Yeah.
We went from the place where I got it to Cane's.
Did you?
That's hilarious.
I just saw the sign. I literally came out. I'm like,
It was a block away. I'm like, that's good. Let's go there. I'm
like,
starving to death.
that's a great idea. Let's go. And then they were so nice and friendly. Welcome to Raising Cane's. It's a great day. What can we do for you? You can get me a Cane's combo as fast as you can put it in that
I
bag.
need 3 Caniacs now.
Oh,
Texas toast? Yeah. Absolutely.
2, please.
So it was good. And they did not mess up my order because Cane's is good like that.
Goose, Popcorn Pam, Dylan, Kyle, Lisa Runcer, Brian, Charles, all wishing you a very happy anniversary.
thank you so much. 21 years of wedded bliss, and that's not sarcastic. I'm not Lewis here. I'm
That's
not being
awesome.
sarcastic about love. I'm actually genuinely in love with my husband.
One day you might find out it's the greatest lie ever told. Just saying.
I hope not. This has been the best 21 years of my life.
Can
for
I
you.
just throw this in? Popcorn Pam read your story in 614 magazine yesterday. So sorry you're not going to be opening up the popcorn stand again. We love you. We'll miss your popcorn. She is selling her equipment if anybody would like to try to take her place.
Popcorn Pan's the best.
Absolutely love that girl.
Let me just tell you how good her popcorn is, too.
Yeah, phenomenal. The s'mores. Oh, what am I going to do without that?
Man.
You know, I depended on Popcorn Pan last year for some Christmas things. You know, went in there and we hung out a little bit, and it was her popcorn shop was glorious. It smelled so good in there. But moving on, I guess, to hopefully, I don't know, man. She's struggling with some health issues and all that, and
awesome,
I really pray and hope for great things for Popcorn Pan for the rest of her existence. She is incredible.
We do.
Me too. And Pam, I just want you to know, if I would have had a tin of your popcorn in the car yesterday when I left, I'm not sure it would have made it out of the parking lot. Straight up.
She said she's not giving up her secrets, though, and I don't blame her.
I don't either.
She said she will take them to her grave.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Let's get into some Morning Blitz trivia, because we've got a lot to get to today.
Oh, my gosh.
There's a packed show. Jeff Logan in later. We got that big Sonic Temple announcement at 8.
You know, we always call him the legend, Jeff Logan.
Yeah.
Buckeye legend, Jeff Logan. Now we have to amend that. It's now Hall of Fame legend, Jeff Logan. Going in the Hall of Fame. That's so awesome.
Awesome. So we got a lot of stuff to get to on a Friday, starting with Morning Blitz trivia.
$25 to water beds and stuff if you're the first one to text in the correct answer. All right. Trying to figure out how to phrase this. What rock band's original former singer and guitarist, after over a decade, is rejoining the band? After over a decade of being away from this rock band, the original singer and guitarist is returning to the band. What is the band? Tell us at 99-700. If you're first, you get the gift card.
It's Pretty Reckless on the Morning Blitz, 622. Thick, Kelly, and Lewis on a Friday. Looks like a nice day today. Clouds this afternoon, 79. Not too bad at all to start the weekend.
Gorgeous.
Morning Blitz trivia.
All right. This one shocked me. What rock band's original former singer and guitar player is returning to the band after 11 years?
Looks like Adam's going back to 3 Days Grace.
Dude, this is unreal. I can't believe it.
Yeah, a little surprised. Well, they recorded some stuff a year or so ago. They were kind of messing around in the studio. And he's come out and played with them for a couple of shows here and there.
Well, the crazy part is that Matt Walst, who replaced him, is staying. So what are they going to, each sing the songs they did?
Do both.
Like when they do Home, will it be Adam? And then when they do, any of the songs they've done since Adam, I guess Matt will sing them.
Yeah.
What are people complaining about? Because, everybo's got something to say.
I haven't seen.
That's a great question.
Text your complaints about this, I guess, at 99.7.
I thought they'd had a female. This sucks.
It's not the same. Still having both there. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, so the band shared an audio message from Adam saying he was going to be rejoining the group. He said it's been a seamless process. It feels very natural to be back. And again, he left in January of 2013 after making 4 albums with the band. And I think that's about how many they've made since.
Yeah.
And by the way, speaking of, they're a very accomplished band. The only band with more #1 active rock hits than 3 Days Grace is Shinedown, but 3 Days Grace is second. For years, they've been going up and taking the place, trading spots, first and second place, just back and forth for the last 20 years.
Wow, good on them.
Yeah, man, that's just incredible to me. I didn't think that would ever. I thought that was a really ugly parting, and that there's no way they would ever get back together.
Wow. You'd be surprised.
So, yeah, how about that? I'm interested to hear a new album. What will that be like?
Yeah, are they going to... I'll be curious to see how the vocal thing plays, if they're going to use 2 singers or how that's going to work. But I guess it all depends on structure of the song and how they can put them both to use. But it's, I think it's good for 3 Days Grace fans.
Doug said, did they run this past Chester Bennington's mom first?
No. Look for her to be pissed about next Wednesday when she finds out they're destroying his legacy.
Oh, my gosh.
I know it's mean to laugh about that, but that was really funny.
Josh texted in, have you got any of those tickets to Frankenstein Haunted Experience at Haunted Mountain? Yes, we do, and we'll give those away coming up in the 7 o'clock hour.
Yes, we will.
Tell you how to win just after 7. By the way, tickets and bands and stuff, we've got this announcement of another band this morning for Sonic Temple, and, yesterday they added Cavalera to the list.
Yep.
That was the new band. If you are not familiar with who that band is, again, they keep giving us so much metal. Those would be the Cavalera brothers, Max and Igor, formerly of Sepultura, which was a massive metal band. And so they have their own thing, Cavalera now. And that will be at Sonic, and we'll tell you another band coming up at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Right before
Looking
Kelly's
forward
News.
to it.
Yeah. Did want to say congratulations to Chris Anderson from Fairborn. He was the first one to text in the correct answer, so Chris has got $25 to waterbeds and stuff.
And now it's time for I've Got Something.
Let's see if these dummies have anything worthwhile for us.
I have something that, somebody who's definitely not experiencing Zen right now. I don't know I know you two aren't on TikTok like I am, but a few days ago, something came across my For You page, and it was this younger woman, looks like in her 20s or something. She and her husband were digging in their backyard and were digging fence posts, right? They're putting up a fence. Mm-hmm. And they hit on like a rolled up carpet or rug or something that was about 2 feet down, 2 feet deep.
Was there a body in
just
it?
the end of it. So I'm like, what? And so this whole saga starts. Come to find out, let me just tell you right now, is that come to find out she's here in Columbus, number one. Her name's Katie Sentry. And for the last 4 days, she's been updating us on what is happening with this rug that they dug into. First of all, it's too deep and too big for them to dig it out themselves. So they had a bunch of TikTokers going, we're coming with shovels. We are coming. We are going to help you. We've got to know what's in here. All the true crime people. And then they said, listen, really, first, before you do anything, you ought to call the police. She called the police. 2 officers came out. They're like, yeah, this is super weird. Super weird. But they called their supervisor and they're like, we don't have the resources to come deal with this. If you want to dig it out, and then if you find something, call us. We want to know. Right. Well, she ends up getting millions and millions of views on this. She's trying to dig it out. They had to uncover. There was a tree planted over this rug thing that's underneath the ground.
That's what I would do.
Dug out the tree. They're trying. It's too much for them. They need to excavate, right? So they're gathering sort of a group of people who are saying, we will come and help you dig this out. Homicide detectives got wind of this TikTok thing. It was getting so many views. They sent out 4, I think, homicide investigators to her home in Columbus, the east side of Columbus, last evening, 5 p.m., with 2 cadaver dogs. She has video on her TikTok of these cadaver dogs hitting. They both, separately, stuck their nose down this hole and sat down. Meaning there's a hit. There's a hit there.
There's a body.
There is something there that's emitting whatever a dead body would emit that these dogs hit on, okay? So, let me just tell you where she left off last night, because she's bringing us along this TikTok saga, and officers did make her stop filming at some point. So here's where we left off with Katie Sentry.
Tomorrow, crime scene investigators will be here digging. And they said that there's still a chance that this rug just could have blood on it. It doesn't necessarily mean there is a body in my backyard. This could be someone got a bloody nose. It could be anything. So, but this is where we're at. I'm still in shock.
Okay, so they ended up crime scene taping off her property, and they kept officers there all night long. So here's where we are this morning. It's still dark, and at some point they will be excavating that rug today, and we'll find out what is in it. But again, this girl, if you want to see the saga on TikTok, Katie Santry, Santry, and she's right here on the east side of Columbus.
Well, the body's wrapped in the carpet, and then they dug a hole and they shot the carpet down underneath, so you buried it in the backyard.
Oh, no, it's just little Billy had a nosebleed, and they just thought, well, we got to bury this rug.
We better bury this rug. Somebody had a nosebleed on
There's
it.
skeletal remains in there from a homicide, from a cold case.
Somebody planted a Japanese maple on top of where this rug is.
Exactly.
So it's weird, guys.
There's a body. There's a body in there. That's the whole thing. You bury it and then plant a tree on top of it. Come on.
And the weird thing is, too, let me just end with this, is that she ended up going back over the saga of TikTok videos, found out who the original owners of this house were, and they were the original owners from the 60s all the way to when she and her husband bought this house. And they're in a nursing home now, the two of them. They're elderly, but she ended up having the realtor talk to the daughter, and the daughter was like, yeah, they did have pets to see if maybe it's a dog rolled up in there or something. They buried a dog. No, they did not bury any animal back there, the original owners.
So they talked to them and they knew nothing about it.
Absolutely knew nothing about this.
Yeah, it's weird because if there's somebody out there who did this and they think all this time they thought they got away with it, they're probably trying to get out of the country right now.
They're freaking out. And one of the homicide detectives last night said, she was like, well, I know this has been in here for a long time. And they said these cadaver dogs are trained at graveyards.
Yeah.
Graveyards, like bodies that have been there 40, 50 years they can hit on. So.
Well, and I mean, all these people are like, yeah, we're going to come over and help you dig.
Yeah.
And, I mean, the detective hears about it and goes, oh my gosh, they're going to destroy a crime scene. We cannot allow this.
Yeah.
We got to get out there.
Yeah.
What do you got?
Well, boy, it feels very anticlimactic after that. But this girl, Caroline Cray Quinn. You ever heard of a Caroline Cray Quinn?
I've never heard of a Caroline Cray Quinn, but go on.
Say that 3 times fast.
It's terrible. She has these severe food allergies and mast cell activation syndrome, MCAS. And so she has strict rules that she has to live her life by. And one of them, or the rules she has to live by when it comes to kissing, she has strict rules. If you want to kiss, and she's very cute. It's such a shame, but it's in order to avoid life-threatening reactions. Here's what she has to require if you want to kiss her.
How do I kiss boys when I can only eat 2 foods? Great question. There are 3 main rules that they have to follow. Rule number 1 is that they can't have any of my 6 main anaphylactic allergens within 24 hours of kissing me. So I've had food allergies before I got mast cell activation in 2017. I've had food allergies since 2001, hence that rule. And then the second rule is that they can't eat anything 3 hours prior to kissing me. So that kind of handles the mast cell activation portion of things where as we know, I can only eat 2 foods. So 3 hours gives the protein enough time to break down in the saliva. And then rule number 3 is that they have to brush their teeth.
Which that's fine.
Okay, I'm dying to know what 2 foods she eats. Did she ever say? I'm sure she did at some point. But that is so crazy.
Oh, it wasn't in the story.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know.
What 2 foods? It's probably really bland, boiled chicken.
Right.
I got to be honest. I'm not putting in that kind of work.
Well, yeah, you wonder about, but that's why I said it's so sad. It just she would get. Well, she can you imagine you kiss the girl and she starts swelling up all of a sudden. And
I'm sorry, I'm a selfish lover. I admit it. I'm not putting in that kind of work.
Maybe that's explaining the last 17 years of it.
So you're saying there's a connection? Got it.
I mean, all right, you said it.
We would agree. I got something. We would agree the Civil War, kind of a dark period in American history, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. The leading cause of war. It's not cannon fire. It's not a bayonet to the gut. Not a little. What do they have? Were they still using
muzzles?
Muzzles back then?
I think.
Okay. So you didn't get nailed with buckshot or a ball bearing. Oh no. The leading cause of death for troops in the Civil War? Diarrhea.
Well, that can be really, really bad for you. You can die of diarrhea at this to this day because of the dehydration.
Diarrhea.
That was the leading cause, but soldiers back in the Civil War had a code of honor.
Oh, no.
They would not shoot someone who was dropping a disc.
Well, God love 'em.
on either side?
Right.
They're
They
like,
had a
if that-
deal.
Right. So it's bad enough you've got diarrhea in the
Because
middle
they're
of
like,
a
that
fight.
poor fella's got about 2 days left in him. Let him poop in peace.
Well, I'm thinking all of a sudden I'm looking at a guy who's pointing his bayonet at me. I'm like, wait, I gotta go, man. Hold on, I gotta go.
It's coming. It's like, yeah, that was the leading cause of death during the Civil War. So
Wow.
yeah, times have changed. That's for sure.
I can't believe they had that deal. It's a war. You're at war. It's like, hey, it's an easy shot right there.
Right? You
Get
can
rid
still be civil.
Put him out of his misery, too.
Just shoot me. Well, it's the fourth time this
It
morning.
was like, I mean,
Shoot me.
what, was there a huge spread of diarrhea? I mean, what?
I don't know.
Why?
I wasn't around back then.
I
don't
know. I didn't know if it said anything. I
No,
was just
that
like,
was it. You learn something new every day. Sling Park on the Morning Blitz. It is Steak Rick, Kelly Quinn, and Lewis 6:49 on a Friday. Some afternoon clouds, 79 today. Should be a pretty good weekend for the most part. Looking at sunny and mid-70s, so get in on that. What are you jumping around for?
oh, I'm just kind of moving to the beat.
Do your thing, Two Scoops.
Jumping?
I'm not mad at you.
2 scoops.
We have so much to talk about today, and I'm trying to figure out where to wedge it in, but I had to preview with you to see if we would steal your stories if I brought something up, so I'm going to refuse and hold back. So there's a lot of good things that came out.
You will have your opportunity to speak your piece.
We'll talk more about clowns a little bit later in the show, but I'm going to tell you, save your money on Joker. Do not go see Joker. You will be so irritated if you do.
That's disappointing.
It is.
This
is my job. My job is to save you money on pop culture things. So,
all right. Can I tell you something about Jelly Roll? You guys got to. I want to tell you about Jelly Roll. 2 things, actually. One.
Woo!
Excuse me. My
Wow.
gosh, that came flying out.
Gesundheit.
Whoa.
My Lord, that might have been
That was
louder than any
annoying.
bodily function I've ever done.
It was really annoying. Sorry.
So Jelly Roll did a new song with Machine Gun Kelly, and it's called Lonely Road, and it samples Take Me Home, Country Road by John Denver. And somebody named Karen Z tweeted out, how long will it take for Jelly and Machine Gun Kelly to get sued for their song Lonely Road because it sounds exactly like Country Road, Take Me Home by John Denver? And Jelly responded to Karen Z. Yeah, we cleared that with John Denver's estate. They love our interpretation of the song, but I appreciate your legal advice, Karen. So anyway, but the best part about Jelly Roll, are he and Bunny actually married? I can't remember.
I think so.
Bunny
I don't
XL,
know.
they are married, right? Well, you know, women have to deal with cramps every month that men don't ever have to deal with. And apparently there is something called a period cramp simulator.
Yes.
You're familiar with this,
Yes,
Kelly?
I'm very familiar with it.
Who would invent this? And why?
I don't know. Maybe it's women saying you don't quite understand how much this hurts. So we're going to invent a machine
just to show
just
us.
to cause you some massive pain so that you can have a little more sympathy
Is that
for
right?
what women go through in life.
Well, Bunny made Jelly and his bandmates try one out. All right. The machine goes to 20. She said they made it to about 6.
They didn't even make it to 11.
They did not make it to 11.
Goes to 11.
Here's some audio.
Big cramp simulator.
That one kind of hurts.
We're on that one.
Go up, keep going. Don't stop. All right, I'm done. Yo, that's like 14.
I'm so sorry to women everywhere.
Oh, are you serious? I'm out.
That's all women are asking for, just a little apology for what we go through.
Well, it's not our fault.
No, it's not. But it does go a long way to extend some understanding.
Lewis,
gosh.
let's hook you up and see.
No.
He won't even try it. I will.
I'm done with anything medical or anything doctor related for a while.
And anything women?
I would love to be a Buddhist monk. That would be awesome. Chant, spend a lot of time chanting.
Yeah.
Have some good energy. My chi would be in the right place.
Yeah. Get in touch with that spiritual side.
Absolutely. Plus, maybe I learn a new form of fighting art. that I could put into practice at some point in time.
I practice the art of fighting without fighting.
Exactly. Be like water. I'll tell you what, if I became a Buddhist monk and I learned a fighting art, I would go out just to practice that fighting art. I would find some trouble and just to see if I was good.
So you'd get really skilled and then you'd go out and just kick random people's asses?
I would wait until I saw like something going down. Like, because there's always the one D-bag that wants to go out and fight. I wouldn't be that guy. But if a fight broke out, I would use my new Buddhist monk powers to step in between 10 dudes.
You're going to be like, you're kind of like Spider-Man.
Absolutely. That's what I would do. Then
you're going to be a superhero.
The Buddhist monk said I could take up to 10 or 12 people at one time.
Well, then you should be able to handle this. No? I would do it, Kelly. Can you find one? Do you know anybody's got one?
I don't. I don't know anybody who has one, Thick Rick.
I would do it. If somebody's
I'll punch you in the gut if you want.
Why would you want stomach pain?
I'm trying to, figure out what y'all are dealing with.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
I will speed bag your liver if you want, or it's not really your liver pain. I'll speed bag your stomach. And just you can feel the constant cramping pain.
Yeah. Is it okay?
And then I'll let you breathe for a second.
Let me ask you this: sometimes you will eat something, and I had it in the past where I will feel this cramp down very low.
That's a poop cramp. It's not the same.
It's not the same. But there have been a couple times in my life where it was really
your
rough.
Ovaries are and all that.
But I feel like if you've been in a relationship, whether it be married or just a long-term relationship, and you get nagged all the time, that pain is kind of the same thing.
Well, let's hook you up to the machine and see.
If somebody's got one, I'll try it. I will. I don't know if I'll get to 20. If it goes to 20, I don't know if I'll get past 10 or.
You want to have a pain threshold off and see who can. Yeah,
I will try to see what the heck this feels like because I'm married. I've got daughters. I've got friends. I've watched women go through this for years, and they've had times where things are really rough, and I have no idea what they're dealing with.
Why don't we just do power slap instead?
That's not. He's just not getting it, Kelly.
We're talking about a pain threshold, right?
Yeah, I think so.
You take an open hand to the face.
From the cramps that women deal with. I understand regular pain from being hit or stuff.
I got to rethink my Buddhist monk theory. Rask brings up a good point. Probably shouldn't brag about taking on 10 to 12 dudes at the same time.
Ooh, yeah.
Fair point.
And now, the 3 things you need to know before you go.
Striking dock workers along the Gulf and East Coast are returning to work. Members of the International Longshoremen's Association and management groups have reached a tentative deal on pay raise, and they've agreed to continue working under the expired contract until January 15th while they negotiate their demands regarding automation. Tens of thousands of union members working from Maine to Texas walked off the job Tuesday morning, and now they are back to work. So enjoy all that extra toilet paper, folks. There's yet another recall notice for the silly Tesla Cybertruck. This one involves problems with the rearview camera. Apparently, the image may be delayed and reduce the driver's view of what's behind them. I don't know how you're seeing anything out of that dumpster, but anyway, I know. I'm sorry if you own one because you probably think it's really cool and everybody makes fun of it, including me. But
I mean, it ranks right up there with the Honda Odyssey.
Yeah? Is the Honda Odyssey worse than as bad as the Cybertruck?
I don't know, but I know that Deadpool and Wolverine made a whole movie about bashing the Honda Odyssey, so it has to be something.
Anyway, this is the 5th recall since the Tesla Cybertruck was released last year. All right, let's talk about this Garth Brooks thing. It's wild. A woman who says she worked as a hair and makeup stylist for Garth Brooks alleged in a lawsuit filed yesterday that he raped her in a Los Angeles hotel in 2019. The woman does not use her name. She goes by the name Jane Rowe in the lawsuit filed in Los Angeles Superior Court. Garth Brooks has denied these allegations in a statement. It says he did try to get a court to stop yesterday's lawsuit from being filed. So the woman says in the lawsuit that she worked for Brooks' wife, Trisha Yearwood, since 1999. She was the hair and makeup person for Trisha Yearwood since 99, but she also started working for Garth Brooks in 2017. So she said she traveled with Garth Brooks from Nashville to LA in 2019, October. He had a performance there. And apparently the two were alone on his private jet. He booked just one hotel suite for both of them, according to the lawsuit. The woman alleges that in that suite, He appeared naked in the doorway to the bedroom and sexually assaulted her. And then she says that he proceeded as though nothing happened and said, "Hey, now I want you to do my hair and makeup."
Oh my God.
That's weird, eh? But again, these are allegations. Apparently, according to Garth Brooks, in July, he knew nothing about any of this, he says, until this past July, when apparently she told him she's going to publicly sue him unless he gave her millions of dollars. That's what Garth Brooks says, and he absolutely says these allegations are wholly untrue.
So I've got a friend.
I'll say it, yeah.
In low places.
Now, what I'm mad about Garth Brooks for, outside of this, and I really hope this is not true, but my gosh, those are some really nasty allegations he's facing, is that he still does not have his discography on Spotify.
He won't.
Yeah, I know he won't. And I've been waiting for years for it. But this is very unsettling. It's unsettling to read these allegations against Garth Brooks.
This is out of character for him. And I know we have I could tell you a Garth Brooks story if you really want to hear a Garth Brooks story, if that's...
Well, unless you're a woman spending time alone in a hotel room with him, I mean, your nice story about shaking hands with Garth Brooks might not go over.
I don't know. I mean, again, this seems out of character. This is all
Yeah?
I mean, I'll say that. I mean, I have a Garth story before I even scratched the surface of radio that was amazing. And I have a couple of Garth stories since scratching the surface of radio that are equally amazing. It just seems out of character for the guy. But I don't know. It'll come out in the wash.
You say out of character for the guy, but do we really know these people? Because according to Brooks and Dunn, all right, they did an interview with Theo Von, and they said that everybody in country music hates each other.
I believe that.
They all act like they love each other on TV, but they all secretly hate each other. Brooks and Dunn said this.
That I believe.
He said it's so competitive, and they don't have room for everybody, and they don't want you there, and they hate you when you start making it.
I believe that.
I was like, wow. They seem like such a tight group when you see the award shows and everything. And then I wonder about others, like actors and everything. Maybe they all really hate each other.
I'm sure there's a lot of that going around. Again, I can come back and tell you stories if you want, but that's totally up to you. In the meantime, I'll give you another story. Is it Florida? Is it not? TSA caught a woman hiding drugs in Christmas presents. By the way, this happened in September. Florida? Not Florida. 3 Days Grace on the Morning Blitz, 7-11 with Vic, Kelly, and Lewis. Good morning. All right, your headline. TSA caught a woman hiding drugs in Christmas presents. The problem? It's September. Not even Christmas in July, so you're really stretching. 23-year-old woman arrested last week. She's trying to smuggle 25 pounds of weed in Christmas presents in September on a flight from the U.S. to the Virgin Islands. The TSA doesn't ban gifts, for those who are wondering. If you've ever flown the holiday season, they don't ban you, but they tell you should not pack your wrap gifts. You should, they're subject to x-ray screening. So you got to be cautious if it's anything, whatever.
The weed!
If they can't figure out exactly what's in the present through the x-ray scanning, they will unwrap them. This woman didn't know that. So her name is Celestra Burgess. She was arrested when the wrapping paper on the Spirit Airlines didn't quite make it through the x-ray machine, so they had to open them. The woman claims she didn't know what was in the packages and that a friend had given them to her to take.
Oh, of course.
The authorities are looking into that, but either way, she's on the hook. Ironically, the same day, a man from Pennsylvania was arrested at the Philadelphia airport for allegedly hiding meth inside an altered shotgun shell.
Okay, that's a small amount of meth.
Right.
Whereas you said 25 pounds of weed. How many presents did she have? Or did she just have 6 giant boxes? Or, I wonder, because 25 pounds of weed's a lot of weed.
Yeah.
That's
how they do it in New Jersey.
I can't, I'm trying to imagine she's got 25 different Macy's big coat boxes or what?
I don't know. but the Christmas presents in September are a little, that's a red flag in itself.
Right.
At least you could have went birthday presents, threw them in some birthday wrapping paper, so at least the guys was a little better.
I don't know where, but it wasn't Florida.
No, it was New Jersey.
Not. Oh, did you say that?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So that's how they do it in New Jersey.
That.
So yeah, this was an East Coast deal. But the meth and the shotgun shell got me. Like, what made you think the shotgun shell was going to make it through TSA?
Right.
Like, what part of you thought, this is brilliant?
That's not suspicious at all.
Right?
3:30 in the morning, not a soul in sight. The city's looking like a ghost town on a moonless summer night.
Oh, this gives me chills.
Raindrops on the windshield. There's a storm.
The song or the idea that he might have done what he's accused of?
The song.
Somewhere that he never should have been. And the thunder rolls. And the thunder rolls.
You guys are all into Garth this morning.
All right, listen. We talked during the news about Garth Brooks is being sued by a woman who claims that he raped her in 2018? Oh, gosh. 2017, 2018. 2019, sorry. So, anyway, we were sort of talking about it after the news, and then Lewis tried to offer another perspective on Garth Brooks, to which I cut him off. Admittedly, somebody called me on it on text, and I just want to apologize for cutting you off. From offering that other perspective on Garth Brooks. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Garth Brooks. I'm not assuming he's guilty at all of this. I'm just acknowledging that there's a lawsuit, and it's a pretty big deal.
Sure is.
And it's really, really, the allegations are disturbing. We don't know if it's true or not. We don't know anything, and I apologize for cutting you off with your story about Garth Brooks. So I want to give you an opportunity to do that.
I don't know that Blitz Nation is as invested in Garth Brooks as others are, but okay.
I mean, he's a superstar. Everybody knows who Garth Brooks is. It's worth talking about.
Yes. All right. So, I hate that word. This would have been back in 98, and I was working, I think I had a part-time job at the time I was a host at a restaurant or something along those lines. And I worked with a guy who would later become one of my college roommates, my friend Tim. He was significantly older than I was. But he worked security at concerts. And my parents were going to Garth Brooks. And for whatever reason, he had let me and another person I worked with into the sound check. Because security was getting set up for the sound check and they were playing. And I remember, I did not know who Garth was at all, other than my parents were going, because I was so far not into country music. So I was sitting there, and this guy comes up to us, and is sitting next to us, and he's in a ball cap, and at the time, the Nike zip-up running suits were trendy or whatever. And he starts asking us a bunch of questions about Cincinnati. So I start answering, and my friend Tim comes over while we're talking. And as we're talking, he looks at Tim and he says, "Hey, are you working the show tonight?" And Tim said, "Now, to give you a visual of Tim looked like Stone Cold Steve Austin, bald guy, goatee, big dude, looked like if he got on a Harley, it would fit. But he was a great chef. But he's like, "Yeah, I'm working the security tonight." And the guy says to Tim, "Well, I really like it if all my people wear black." Tim had blue jeans on. What he meant was wear black jeans. So I'm like, out of nowhere, I'm like, "Your people?" And he says, "Well, yeah, I'm Garth." And reaches out and shakes his hand and ends up talking to us or whatever.
Did you say Garth who?
No, at this point, I knew who he was.
I said, "Give me a hell yeah."
So I ended up saying, "Hey, no problem. Tim, I know you're working. We can run back. If you give me the keys to your place, we can run back and get you black jeans or whatever," which is what we ended up doing. But I said, "Hey, my parents are coming to the show tonight, and I know this is probably out of line, but they'd be really awesome if you could meet them after the show." And he said, and I quote, "I don't do anything after the show because of everything that comes along with it. We're off the stage, we're on the bus, we're out the door." And I said, "Oh, okay." And he said, "But your parents would be more than welcome to join us for dinner."
What?
Wow. And he let my parents come to the catering and have dinner with the band while catering was going on.
That's something else. Wow.
Like totally straight up. Like that was my first, and this was prior to radio. I had I wasn't even close to radio at this point in time. Like we're talking high school kid me. So he ended up letting my parents go to the catering and sit down. I remember because my stepdad had this god-awful cowboy hat and boots that he wore, and one of those god-awful Garth Brooks. You know, remember
at a Garth concert, I can't believe you would wear a cowboy hat and boots.
No, but this was 90s country. Remember when everybody wore those god-awful button-up shirts that had like 1,000 different country music colors? That's what they were wearing.
Haven't they always wore those?
Yeah, but it was so embarrassing. So that's what they wore.
But I'm sure he fit right in.
So fast forward a few years later, I am in Shea Stadium at the Met, where the Mets play for Last Play at Shea with Billy Joel, and I'm down in the green room, and Garth Brooks is in there. And I tell the story to Garth, who remembers the story when we were talking about it at the time, and ended up having a really good conversation with him about baseball and sports and everything else. And then he went out and played with Billy Joel that night. So I don't, out of character, I don't know if it's true or not. But
because of that version of Garth,
because of that version of Garth that I know,
I get it.
And I mean, again, this was 2 or 3 different occasions that I've had conversations with the guy, and he doesn't come across that way. But I guess because it's Hollywood and it's music and everything else, I would not be surprised. It wouldn't shock me if it were true. It would greatly disappoint me if it were true. But that seems like the kind of, he just doesn't come across as that type of dude, but you never know who anybody is behind closed doors.
Well, it's like you find out your neighbor does some insane crime, and you're like, I would have never dreamed. There's no way. I could never believe they would do something like that.
Yeah.
And we don't know,
So that's my Garth experience. It's all I can say from, I can only speak from experience. I wish Tim were still alive. He would tell this story because he tells it way better than I do. But Steve, That Summer by Garth Brooks is perhaps the most romantic song about statutory rape I've ever heard.
Oh no.
Headed into Big Ten season, I just want to remind all our fans that we do have the best fans in the land, and we are the standard for excellence, and we always handle ourselves in first class, and so excited to see everybody out here on Saturday. And secondly, just want to congratulate Chris Ward, who's going into the College Football Hall of Fame. I'm going to be celebrating him this weekend, and also 3 former Buckeyes that are going into the Ohio State Athletics Hall of Fame: Jeff Logan, Braxton Miller, and Matt Wilhelm. So excited to celebrate their accomplishments here this weekend as we head into Iowa.
Yeah! How about that?
I'm getting chills over here.
We're getting chills.
My goodness, it is upon us, is it not? Unbelievable.
Look at that. Ryan Day. Congratulations, Jeff. Well earned, well deserved.
The opportunity that I've had to reconnect with some people throughout the last week or so as this thing has been approaching has been terrific. So, people from high school, people from all over the country starting to pick up on social media and all this, and it's really humbling and exciting, especially for my family. They're really enjoying it. We're going to have a little hoo-ha on Sunday. It almost feels like I'm going to my own calling hours or something. You know what I mean? I mean, just getting all these contacts and everything else.
No, it's like people celebrating you. It's like, what is
I'm
this?
not comfortable with that, to be quite honest
now,
with
let me
you.
tell you this. Charlie dug out he went to the Rose Bowl with his father. Was it 1975? Oh, I don't know. I know we went to the Rose Bowl a lot. 75?
75.
Okay.
It would have been January 1st of 75.
He dug out his program. There is your picture. He's like, can you get Jeff to sign this?
Oh, did you bring it in?
I didn't, because he's like...
Nope, I can't.
I will bring it in. I didn't bring it in today, but he just this past week showed it to me. He showed me the program, showed me your picture. I'm like... Look at Jeff Logan in all his glory with those
lots of hair.
That gorgeous hair.
Yeah.
I mean, it was something
first thing
to
that goes.
behold.
Yeah, boy, isn't that the truth?
But it was really neat. He's super excited for you, and
I'd love
he's
to
like,
see that.
Yeah, I'll bring that in. I'll bring it in next week.
It's interesting. I've got framed in my basement a cover of the Rose Bowl program from 1974. Now, I wasn't on the team at the time. This was the 73 season, so it's before I got there. But it is signed to Jeff. You can play for us next year. Woody Hayes.
Oh, neat.
On the cover of a Rose Bowl program.
That's awesome.
And then at the bottom it says, P.S. say hi to your dad. Because my dad played for Woody.
Yes.
And so I just saw that the other night. And it's one of those things that I just looked at and I thought, holy crap.
Wow.
This is just... at the time, you're a egotistical young kid that knows everything and you just kind of take it for granted. But today, when I look at that and I realize how fortunate I am to have had that relationship and have that guy care enough, and I understand it's the recruiting process and everything else, but that has gone a long way as far as I'm concerned.
I didn't see Joe Paterno signing anything for you.
I do have a letter from Joe.
No, you do?
I do have a letter from Joe.
Okay.
That I cherish as well.
Oh,
so,
he really wanted you to come.
Yeah,
Didn't he, to Penn State?
The guy that I've got nothing from is that idiot Ara Parsegian from Notre Dame. Who was just too good to be able to ever leave the campus to go visit with a family.
How'd that work out for you?
Yeah, well,
Era?
Yeah, good luck.
I said this morning, well, we got to change your title. You're no longer the legend Jeff Logan. You're now Hall of Fame legend Jeff Logan.
I like that. That sounds good. So the event will be tonight at the Covelli Center, where they actually have a dinner and an induction kind of process. And Jerry Emig, who is the sports information director of Ohio State, is going to take over my normal duties as the MC of this event.
You can't MC your own induction.
No, I don't think so.
It would be so cool if you did, though.
I'd like to introduce myself.
Right?
Yeah.
Let me say a few things about me.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll be sitting on the other side of the table, if you will. But Jerry Emig is going to do that. And Clay Hall, the retired sports director from Channel 6.
He retired? I didn't know he retired.
But is actually still active doing things, but retired from the day-to-day stuff. He will do a little bit of like fireside chat with each of the inductees instead of a speech. Because I think with 14 people going into the Hall of Fame, if all 14 were to deliver a speech, we wouldn't make it to the Oregon game.
I was going to say.
The game start. And that's a week away. So I think that's the right decision, and looking forward to that. That should be a lot of fun. And then Saturday, game day, little reception beforehand in the Varsity O room, and then at halftime they'll introduce the class. So I think that'll be a lot of fun. So
you get a ton of congratulations coming through on text. Yeah.
Will we get that on television, though?
Maybe they'll give a shot of it.
Maybe online. And
I don't know that there's a feed that shows everything, but I don't know.
You'll probably get the passing. Hey, during halftime, the Buckeyes inducted.
Yes.
You'll get one of those
because we got to listen to the talking heads tell us what we just watched.
Right. Exactly. Well, at least it's CBS and not Gus Johnson.
True.
This is true.
So that's a good thing.
This is true.
I kind of like Gus.
I know you do. I know you do. But
it's just funny.
The only thing that ruins a Saturday game day for me is having Gus Johnson act like he's the most important guy in the room.
It is a tremendous honor, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Well deserved.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Before we get into next week, though, who won last week?
Are we doing this already?
Before we get in,
Lewis must know he won.
No,
did you
Jeff
win?
won.
Did he? What was it? It was
Jeff
close.
won again?
It was
Two
close.
in a row.
Yeah.
2 in
It was
a
close,
row.
though, right? Because him and I were only a few points apart, right?
No, actually,
Kelly
were the
was
farthest off.
Uh-oh. Final score is 38-7, right?
Yeah,
I have.
You had 49-13. Jeff had 41-10. Kelly had 41-20. I had 49-7. Jeff was 6 points off. I was 11.
Good
Kelly
try,
14.
bud.
You were 17 points off.
Hey, it's been a bad couple
week.
of months. Cedar on the Morning Blitz, 748. Thick, Kelly, Lewis, joined by the Hall of Famer Jeff Logan this morning to talk a little Buckeye football. So Jeff coming off the win last week. And did we announce who won the Frankenstein Experience tickets?
That was Tim Ayers from Orient.
Congratulations, Tim. Sorry we didn't give you your kudos a little bit earlier, but we were talking to the Hall of Famer to give him his kudos.
Yes.
Of course, Buckeyes, Big Ten play starting. Iowa.
Got started last week against
Michigan
State. Convincing win, 38-7. And in that game, guys, the Ohio State defense got off to a little bit of a slow start, and Jim Knowles, the defensive coordinator, talked about that this week. And in fact, he blamed himself for maybe not having enough reps for things that they would have expected to see. But the ability for this football team to adjust to whatever the other team is doing and making those adjustments on the fly has been really solid. So, through 4 games right now, Ohio State is ranked number 2 in the country in total defense and number 5 in total offense. I mean, to be that good at both sides of the ball is remarkable. The Iowa football team coming in here And we've all known about Iowa in the past, about the fact that they've got a terrific defense, but they've never been able to, in recent memory, been able to score the ball. And they can't put up any points on offense. They're ranked 65th in the country in total offense, 18th in defense, but maybe not the smothering defense that we've seen in the past that Iowa's had. But Thick, we were talking in the break there a little bit, they've got a terrific running game.
Yeah, Caleb Johnson runs for 170 yards a game.
Yeah, from Hamilton, Ohio.
Is he really?
Yes, he was a 3-star kid that was not offered by Ohio State, and that was a point of contention in a interview that he did earlier this week. And they asked him about the fact that Ohio State didn't offer him. And his attitude was, well, I would have never gone there anyway. I just wanted to go someplace where I could beat them.
Oh,
now that to me is a young man that really wanted to come to Ohio State.
That's right. That's right. Sour grapes.
Yeah, didn't get the offer, and
I didn't want to go there anyway.
Yeah, so how's that sound? I just wanted to go someplace where we could beat them. So we'll see what happens. But that is what they do best: is run the football from an offensive standpoint. You will recognize the quarterback, a guy by the name of Cade McNamara.
Yeah.
He started against Ohio State 4 seasons ago for the team up north.
Yeah.
And then transferred to Iowa, gave them a little bit of help from an offensive standpoint because they were really, really struggling. And one of the reasons they were struggling is because Kirk Ferentz's son was running the offense. He was the offensive coordinator. They finally ran him out of town. They've got a good guy now that is their offensive coordinator, and they are now actually playing football in the current generation. I mean, they've fancied it up a little bit. They've got some really talented guys. Here's a stat though, guys, that I think is really kind of cool. Iowa in the last 14 NFL drafts have had 10 first-round draft picks. Pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Pretty impressive.
That's
0 skilled players.
All linemen?
Offensive linemen, defensive linemen, and linebackers.
Well, that's where it starts, right?
Right. Now, you got to have that strength.
Yep.
But the reason that Iowa is always 8-4, 9-3, 10-2 is because they can't match the speed of the other schools that are out there that are elite programs that have great speed. So if you don't have the wide receivers, the running backs, the DBs that have the capacity to take the top off and be able to be really, really fast, you cannot challenge for a national title. And I think, that's been the issue, recruiting those skilled players to go live in Iowa City. It just doesn't mix. It's a tough deal.
You can't coach speed.
No, you can't. You'd like to, but you either have it or you don't.
Right.
Could Herky the Hawk beat Brutus Buckeye in a foot race?
Boy, that'd be a good test. They're two great mascots, by the way, right?
Great mascots.
Yes, they look good.
Yep.
They ought to have a lot of fun on the sidelines. And if you haven't been to a game this year, or in the past couple of years, one of the fan promotions that they do is somebody sprinting the 100-yard dash against Brutus. All right, they do it during one of the TV timeouts, and Brutus, not that I watch this all that closely, but Brutus for the last couple of years has never been beaten. Well, this year they must have a slow Brutus because he is getting smoked by these students that they're bringing in to be able to run the 100-yard dash against Brutus Buckeye. So
they're bringing in ringers.
I don't know what they're doing.
Do they sit you down if you're the mascot and go, look, man, you're just not cutting it this year?
That might be one of the tryout things. Is what's your 100?
Yeah. Well, I remember a few years back we were talking about, if you wanted to be Brutus, the tryouts and everything were happening, and I know, most of the time Brutus is like one of the best cheerleaders, right?
Mm-hmm. One of the best. You have to be able to do a backflip with that big Brutus head.
Yeah, right. And so I know you had to be pretty athletic to be Brutus.
Now, the one thing I don't want to crush anybody's thoughts about Brutus, but there's like 6 of them.
Yes.
Each year? No. Yeah. Yes, each year.
Really? There's that many?
They rotate.
There's that much demand for special events and everything else.
Oh, okay.
And they're not allowed to say if the student, whoever's playing Brutus, cannot admit that they are Brutus while they are Brutus.
Yep, that's it. And so it's kind of like Santa Claus in the mall. There's one everywhere. And so
I kind of figured it was the same way probably with Stinger from the Jackets.
Yeah,
There's
I don't know.
more than one.
Oh,
I'm guessing.
Yeah, I would think so.
It's funny. If you wait to wear the Brutus costume, it is a complete honor. But if you're the person that has to put on the knockoff costume and stand on the curb spinning the sign, you are anything but employee of the month.
Yeah. And there's not much difference there, right? Yeah,
exactly.
Well, it's all the image and who you represent and who you're out there, cheering for. So, I think the schedule for Ohio State has gotten increasingly more difficult. It's like climbing the stairs, and each week becomes a little bit more difficult. And you couldn't line it up more perfectly to continue to increase the competition. And no one's looking ahead to next week when Ohio State goes to Oregon,
right?
But if you want to continue to be elite, you've got to be really good about taking care of business this Saturday.
Right. Well, and I think it helps Ohio State that Michigan State a little better this year than anybody thought they were going to be. No question. Iowa, Well,
like last week I heard complaints that we didn't beat them bad enough, and and I'm like, you have to understand, we're not throwing the book at them. We're not trying to use every great thing we can do. We're trying different stuff. When we get a lead like that, it gives us the ability. And heck, every game we've had all of our backups in the entire fourth quarter.
Exactly. And on the road, to be able to empty your bench and play 3 quarterbacks because you wanted to.
Yeah.
Not because you had to.
Right.
But because you wanted to. That's total domination. For those people that think, like Kelly, that you got to win every game 72-0. And by the way, I'm at the barbershop this week. All right. My friends at Nini's.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
I love those guys. They listen in, and they just every time I'm in there, is Kelly going to pick 72-0 again?
Listen, I would do it every week because I don't like having any anxiety about a football game.
It's anxiety.
When people are like, "Oh, it was just so boring watching them just kill the other teams." Never.
I like boring.
Yeah. Never. I love boring.
Yes.
Give me a blowout. That's what I love.
All right. Well, let's pick.
Ohio State is a 20-point favorite, 21-point favorite in this game. Right around there. Is that?
Yep. 20. Yeah. It's been 19.5 to 20.5. Yep. Today I saw it was 20. You're the back-to-back winner, so you get the first
back-to-back winner. I haven't won in 3 years, and all of a sudden I'm back-to-back. And Ohio State was a 28-point favorite against Michigan State. Obviously on the road, this one a little bit more favorable for Ohio State. Last time a team came in here with a rusher like they have, we shut them down. It was Michigan State and Kenneth Walker a number of years ago. I think the same thing will happen on Saturday. The Iowa Hawkeyes will be held to 9 points.
Ooh.
And I'm not sure if it's a missed extra point or it's 3 field goals, but I'm giving them 9 points total, and the Buckeyes will put up 39. A weird score.
39-9.
39-9, just something odd because it's Hall of Fame weekend.
I love it.
I got 42-3. I'm really close to
We're right there.
Yeah.
And Kelly, you got it written down.
What?
Nothing.
You can pick the same score. It's okay.
She's got 70. No, I'm sorry.
No.
35-10.
35-10.
Man, those are all 3 really close. Lewis?
You don't have to prices right. You could just pick the same score if that's what you were
going
to pick.
I was going to go 3, but now I got to change. I do think the Buckeyes will put up 42. I think that offense is going to light it up in the passing game because the Iowa Hawkeyes are a little weak on that side of the defensive ball, but they are good against the run, so I will keep the Buckeyes somewhat reasonable at 42, but I'm going to say that Iowa, because of their running game, I don't know that they punch it into the end zone, but I do agree with you, Jeff. I think they get into field goal range a couple of times, so I'm going to give them 6.
All right. 40. It's all jammed in there tight, so we should be interesting. And
well, congratulations to you.
Jeff.
Enjoy all the honor you will get this weekend. You deserve it.
Should be fun. Great class, too. So.
You are so loved. We love you so much. I love you so much.
Thank you, my dear.
Not enough to bring in the program for him to sign for your husband, but that's okay.
And as always, go Bucks.
Go Bucks.
And now, all right, I'm listening. 3 things you need to know before you go.
I mean, that's a great band announcement, by the way, but let me do your 3 things here. Hurricane Helene, now the deadliest storm to hit the mainland U.S. since Hurricane Katrina. Officials say at least 215 people have died due to the storm that slammed the southeast a week ago, and more than half of those deaths were in North Carolina, including dozens in Buncombe County, where Asheville is. And there was a whole story in the Washington Post about how less than 1% of households in Buncombe County have flood insurance. It's just not something that is with a normal homeowner's insurance. You have to especially opt into it. And basically almost nobody has. So all available disaster assistance funds are largely meant just to pay for your temporary help, shelter, food, water, not to rebuild a home. Nobody's getting assistance to the tune of tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars to rebuild. So this is truly a life-changing disaster for these people.
Yeah, you live in the mountains. You wouldn't think you'd need flood insurance.
You wouldn't think so, yeah. A famous set of murder convictions from 1996 being reviewed by Los Angeles prosecutors. Eric and Lyle Menendez were convicted of killing their parents in a 1989 shooting. And yesterday, LA County District Attorney George Gascon said he is actively reviewing the case after a new witness came forward, saying that the Menendez's father molested him as a child. Now, we know that Eric and Lyle tried to claim that as their self-defense. It was self-defense killing because their father had been abusing them regularly. And that didn't go over with the jury. They have been in prison for decades for murdering their parents. But this other person has come forward now to say, no, their dad molested me as well. So we'll see where this goes. Yeah, it's interesting. Dave Allison, the original guitarist and founding member of Canadian heavy metal band Anvil, has died. He was 68 years old. Now, I have talked about this documentary many, many times in the past. I encourage you to watch the documentary called Anvil, The Story of Anvil. This band was something that I think most other rock bands at the time thought these guys are going to hit so big. They are like the rock band's rock band. Everybody loves the band Anvil. It's like the band you've never heard of. That's like the biggest thing among musicians. Okay. So anyway, it's a great documentary if you ever get to see it. But anyway, this Dave Allison, he passed away this week. Apparently, the Anvil, the social media, said that he was, they will miss him. He was very proud, made some great contributions to the band Anvil in the early years. And so they said, rest in peace, Dave Squirrely Allison. Allison co-founded the original band that was later renamed Anvil. And anyway, he did pass away. No cause of death given at the age of 68. So again, I encourage you, please watch that documentary, Anvil, The Story of Anvil. It's really good. And there are a lot of rock stars you will recognize in that documentary. And those are your three things.
Finger 11 on the Morning Blitz, 824. Lewis, Kelly, Quinn, Thick, Rick, and sunny skies today. Maybe a few clouds, but 79. It's a great-looking weekend, so good weekend for Buckeye football tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And whatever else you're doing. Maybe you got some chores. Maybe you're reorganizing your life. Whatever.
Yeah, no.
It'll be a nice day. Nice day.
I might have to go fishing.
You do that.
Because the game's what, 3:30, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can get some fishing in the morning. And
I have a wedding tomorrow. Not mine.
No, we know that.
We do know that. When somebody starts out the show saying, I've wasted 17 years of my life.
Stop.
That's all right. When one door closes.
Musically.
You've already had multiple offers today, Lewis.
I know,
if Lewis is looking for a rebound.
Told you. Buddhist monk.
Okay.
What? So you're never going to date again?
I'm going to shave my head and be a Buddhist monk.
I'm never going to date again.
Well, if I come in Buddhist monk robes every day, would that bother you? I think it'd be really comfortable.
Oh, please do. Have at it. Robes are back in now. People are wearing robes out to the grocery store.
Do you have to wear the kind of robe underwear underneath, where they don't really wear underwear? It's kind of like a cloth wrapped around. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, you have to wear underwear. Please. Because, man, we don't need any accidents.
There won't be any accidents.
Kelly, back me up on this.
Hey, just saying. This guy. Let me talk to you about this guy. And I think there might be... Let me preface this with what he did is wrong, but I think there would be some people that kind of hear this and go, I kind of wish this would happen to me. And I'll tell you why. This happened in Wales. Across the pond, 36-year-old man broke into a woman's home. Didn't steal anything. Did all of her chores for her. This guy! The woman who lived there was at work when he broke in on July 16th, hung her laundry out to dry, put her groceries away, and emptied her recycling. He also tidied up the garden, refilled the bird feeders, organized her fridge, mopped the floors, put out a bottle of wine, cooked dinner, and left a note that said, "Don't worry, be happy, eat up."
Can he come to my place on Mondays and Thursdays?
That's what I'm saying.
Well,
he left after that, wasn't there when she got home from work, but it freaked her out for obvious reasons. She thought he was a stalker. Turned out he wasn't. His lawyer told the judge he was homeless at the time and undergoing a number of difficulties. So she stayed with...
I tell you, that's the nicest psychiatric break I've ever heard.
Right?
That somebody just got something so wrong with them that they want to help somebody else out. I'll take more of that in this world. Right. Although, really, don't come in my house and mess around with my stuff.
It's a freaky thing.
But,
yeah.
I mean, you've heard of much worse.
You know.
She stayed with a friend for a couple weeks until police caught him after he broke into another vacant house. He didn't do any chores this time, didn't have time to. Someone showed up and kicked him out.
Oh.
The judge sentenced him on Thursday to 22 months in jail. His lawyer told the court that her client was sorry for the harm he'd caused his victims.
Well, that loser at the second place really missed out, didn't they? Kicked him out.
Kicked him out too soon.
I know. And he left her not only did he do chores, he left her dinner and a bottle of wine. What? I mean, and you're going to jail for that? Why? Give that guy a medal.
I mean, it is a...
Listen, okay. If this happened to you, and there was like dinner sitting out and an open bottle of wine, are you touching that with a 10-foot pole?
Not a chance.
No.
Depends on the dinner.
So really, it was just a waste of food and a good bottle of wine because I'm pouring it all down the garbage.
But
if the bottle's sealed?
He said he opened a bottle of wine.
He opened it. Okay.
A little Jesus juice and steak.
You guys, speaking of are you going to drink it? I got a bottle of this like pumpkin spice eggnog.
Gross. You lost me at eggnog.
Yeah.
Had me at pumpkin spice,
I love
kicked
eggnog.
me right out at eggnog.
From I won't say where it's from because something was so I noticed it was leaking in the grocery bag. I pulled it out and I got eggnog all over my hands. What's going on? The tiniest little pinhole was in the top of the seal.
Ooh.
Through the actual sealed part of the eggnog. So it poked through just a tiny little pinhole. And I'm like, did somebody inject something in this?
Yeah, they did. They knew you were coming.
There were only 3 bottles on the in the refrigerator section, and one of them had like a pinhole through the top. It did look like a hypodermic needle size.
Yeah.
I was worried about it, so I pitched it. So I won't eat that. I'm not eating something that somebody I don't know came into my house and fixed for me.
I agree with you.
It was not, but you can't take away the fact that it was a nice gesture.
It was a kindness. I will say that. It was a kindness. This person felt like he really wanted to do something for somebody. Now, it was not appropriate, but it was kind.
How long did he get?
22 months.
Oh, that's too much.
Not for him. He's got 3 hots and a cot, baby.
I know, but...
Maybe they sentenced him to like a month, and he's like, how about 22?
Yeah. Wait, extend that stay?
Right.
Man. Yeah,
you guys, would you have had the beverage that I got with a pinhole stuck through the top?
Well, I told you, lost me at eggnog.
I'm glad you noticed it. I mean, what if you hadn't seen it?
I feel like somebody did you a favor so you didn't have to drink that garbage.
Maybe.
It is the morning Blitz, 8:40. Kelly Quinn, Thick Rick, I'm Lewis. And congratulations to Derek from Reynoldsburg picking up those Tom Segura tickets.
Mm-hmm. That show's tonight.
Yeah. Knowing that STP was the song you were, in fact, listening for this morning. Nice job. Whew. We had a lot to do today.
It's been a morning, hasn't it?
I'm telling you.
It really has.
Because for people texting, I am going to revisit that story in the 9 o'clock news about the woman who found the buried rug on her property on the east side of Columbus, rather. And I am hearing from people all over the United States. Friends, I just heard from my friend Melanie Simpson in Alabama. She said, have you heard of this? It's happening in Columbus.
How about that?
My sister Kathy, who lives in Oregon.
Okay, state dropper.
Texted last night. I'm a state dropper. I know people in other states than Ohio.
Yeah. You have friends in different area codes. I have hoes in different area codes.
Okay, all right.
Oh. We're finding out more and more.
They don't talk to me, though, which is weird.
You mean the garden tool hose, I'm
of
sure.
Of course, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
Can't put the playlist together without tools.
A little bit ago, we announced that Bullet for My Valentine had been added to Sonic Temple's lineup, and we got a lot of great texts. John said that was his wife's favorite band, Said they had to miss them a few years ago. Dominic said, let's effing go. Bullet for My Valentine. Charlene said, F yeah, love them so much. Robert said, awesome. But Travis said he saw them and they are terrible live. I've seen them and they were not. So maybe you had a bad experience. I don't know. But yeah, that was the band we announced that was added today to Sonic Temple's lineup.
Excellent. I think it's going to be I'm curious to see because they can 100 bands and we haven't even scratched the surface yet.
No, we still got 2 main headliners. We still got all 4 of the
support acts.
So the second headline stage.
Yeah,
all 4 of those bands. We have no idea. So
there's a lot to fill in that lineup. But starting off good.
We have till May.
We do.
All right, we also have an email from a listener who I kind of feel their pain, and I'm not sure what they should do, but here's what it says. My neighbor has one very scary Halloween decoration of a ghostly figure with red eyes in their window. My children are terrified to leave our house. I wrote a note explaining who I am, where I live, and the fear it's causing my kids, which are ages 8 and 4. I asked in the note if they would consider removing the decoration. I haven't given it to them yet. They just moved in a few weeks ago. Would it be out of line to place the note on their doorstep? I understand this may not be considered, but I also want to know if it would be rude to just ask. Thank you. Please don't say my name.
Did she say the ages of the kids?
8 and 4.
Okay. What I'm going to say is please do not leave that note. Please don't do that. Do not do that. This is a chance for you to teach your 8 and 4-year-old something about not being scared of decorations.
Okay.
You're reinforcing your kid's fear by demanding that somebody else modify their behavior so that your child isn't afraid to walk by their house when you could walk by. Let's do some little desensitization here. Walk by the house with your kids. Talk about how it's fake, it's not real, and, you're going to walk by this and you can be brave because that's not going to do anything to you. It's just a decoration. It's just plastic. Things like that. This is a chance for you to help your kids not be afraid. Do not demand that your neighbor take down their Halloween decorations. Absolutely not.
Kelly Quinn. A+.
Oh, yeah?
I can't even... Lewis... You've been putting up tons of Halloween decorations for years.
I didn't touch any Halloween this year. I wasn't allowed. But I do think the...
oh my gosh, it keeps getting worse.
I do think the people that come by just to see our house and stop and take pictures, I think, there are some people that will hate it because not everybody likes Halloween. But I believe I've said this before. We live in such a negative world. If you can do something that makes somebody smile for a minute of their day or they take their time out for it, then I can't see that being wrong.
I would approach your neighbor and say, hey, can I bring my kids over to see that decoration so that I can show them that it's not real? They're so afraid of it.
Oh, my gosh.
I know you're just really embracing Halloween. Would you mind? Could we come over and see it?
I'd be the opposite. Like, I see you in the driveway, kid. You come over here, you're going to die.
Yeah, Jeremy texted in at 99700. Let's not leave notes anywhere. Whatever happened to the good old-fashioned concept of knocking on a door and having a conversation?
It depends on the situation. I think sometimes a note is the first kind of gateway in, and if the note doesn't work, then you have the physical conversation.
Yeah, I'm absolutely pro-note when it comes to confrontation.
Well, I think you at least have to try. You leave a note to try first. And then if they don't respond to the note, then you take it to the next level.
I love a note. Not in this case. I do not love it. I think it's a mistake if you leave the note.
Right. By the third time around, you're dragging them out the front door, pulling the shirt over, and hockey punching them in the back until they do what you want. No?
Not in my experience.
Oh. Must be my hood.
Dominic says it's Halloween. It's only a month. Matt says Kelly nailed it. This is a chance to teach your kids. Nikki said the same. The note would be out of line. This is a teaching moment for your children. Yeah. You said it perfectly, said Carolyn.
Teach the kid. You got to learn. You got to conquer your fears, son. So you're going to sit out here in the dark and stare at this thing and watch it stare back at you until you realize nothing's going to happen.
There are a lot of real scary things in life. Let's just, take the fear out of the things that really aren't scary. And that's a Halloween decoration. Don't let your kid be afraid of that. Don't do that to your 8-year-old, especially.
Yeah.
Mike says what you do is scare the living S out of them kids with Halloween decorations and enjoy it because it'll give you something to smile about until they turn into a-hole teenagers.
James said, way out of line to ask. I don't care how old the kids are. If someone did that to me, I'd tell them to F off. I have body parts and blood all over my yard.
And that's not even Halloween.
Right, that's not even Halloween.
Beat me to it.
We all had the same joke.
That's the way my place looks in May. Shine out, sound of madness on the Morning Blitz. 8:51, Thick, Kelly, Lewis, and Halloween decorations that the kids don't like. So what do? You don't leave a note. Or you do leave a note. Not everybody happy. Not everybody would have done what you suggested, Kelly.
What, to actually parent their kids into not being afraid of a decoration?
Yeah, we don't do that.
No,
parent your kids.
I'm not trying to shame the person who wrote in because, honestly, I mean, you do feel for your kids. You want to protect your kids. I understand the instinct. I really do. But in this case, I think you've got to let people have their decorations and you help your kids through it.
Why or what?
I just some of the text. Jeff said, F that note. Face it head on. Say it with your chest.
Yeah, low-cut shirt and walk over. Hi. It would be great if you could take your Halloween decorations down. My little son's afraid. By the way, I'm going to be washing my car in the driveway on Tuesday if you'd like to watch. No?
You said they're new neighbors. It's a good chance. Bake some cookies and bring your kids over there and say, hey,
Put some laxative in the cookies and drop them off.
Yeah. Roger says studies show that people who decorate for Halloween are generally overall happier. So why kill the spirit? Maybe he needs to decorate with his kids.
Is Halloween a negative thing still for a lot of people?
I don't know who it's a negative thing for.
No, there was a time when...
Are you kidding me? It's a holiday where you don't have to spend it with family.
I think it's most people's favorite.
No, there was a time when like a lot of people didn't let their kids trick-or-treat anymore because of the risk and it was, the expensive costumes. I feel like Halloween has shifted to an adult holiday.
I've never been in an area that people stopped celebrating Halloween or stopped letting their kids
Am I wrong?
trick-or-treat.
I think what it is I think we're spending a lot more money on decorating for Halloween than
That's
we used
for
to.
sure.
So it's more visible than it used to be.
The exterior light industry has grown astronomical because it used to be just a Christmas thing. Now it's they decorate on Arbor Day.
Dude, I mean,
my name is Lewis.
I got houses in my neighborhood where like this one house got a skeleton coming out of the chimney. There's a skeleton coming out of the ground. There's a whole one up in a tree. I mean, and then there's other stuff. There's a giant the clown. What's his name?
Pennywise.
There's a giant Pennywise that is like his legs are over the front door of the house.
We have a skeleton dog.
A skeleton dog, yeah, yeah. I've seen those. Yeah, so I think it's just so much more visible because of all the decorating. I mean, people decorate for Halloween now as much as, if not more than Christmas. Some of them.
Our skeleton's not anatomically correct, but I made a promise to myself that before I leave that property, I will make it anatomically correct. So I ordered a large bone unit to attach to the skeleton.
Oh, Jason said take the kids to a store and show them Halloween decorations and teach them about how fake it all is.
Have you seen that one? I think it's from Spirit Halloween, where they have like it's sort of the ghoul skeleton, and it's like standing there and it's huge, but then when you trigger it, it flies in the air toward you. I think I sent it to you, Lou. I think I sent it to you guys.
He was in our group text.
He was so afraid. Now that's mean. Don't do that to your kid. You have to prep your kid for that.
That's awesome.
Leah is 100% with you. Jeff said low-cut shirt and stars and bars on the Speedo. Absolutely. That's what you do. All the best of the problems can be solved with some blazing chest hair.
That'll do it.
Caleb says it's spooky-ish season. It is.
Yeah.
If people are going to get on me for complaining that my neighbor's grass is out of place, then I guess if you live in a neighborhood, then, you do have to try to coexist.
Mike, have your kids watch The Children of the Corn, then take them to a cornfield and drop them off.
If you guys make it back, it was a good day. If not, your mother and I will miss you.
Now, JD, why do you want to start this? Why do you want to start this argument? Nightmare Before Christmas. Christmas movie or Halloween movie?
I mean, I think I settled that last year. Halloween.
It's Christmas. Just kidding.
And now, all right, listener. 3 things you need to know before you go.
I would like to update you on this story about the East Columbus woman. Her TikTok this week blew up. Millions of people are watching this story as it happens. This woman's name's Katie Santry. She and her boyfriend live on the east side of Columbus. They were putting in a fence in their backyard and were digging fence post holes and hit on this like rug or carpet rolled up. It's about 2 feet down into the earth. And it was way too big for them to dig up themselves. But a Japanese maple had been planted on top of this area. So they're thinking originally, well, maybe it's somebody buried their dog here or something like that. But they have gone to the trouble of finding the owners of the house before them. It only had one previous owner before them. And these owners are like, no, they never buried a dog or anything in the backyard. They don't know anything about that. So it became a huge TikTok sensation this week over the last 4 days. Updates of her people offering to come help dig up this carpet and find out what's in it. She called the police initially. They came out and said, yeah, we see it is really weird, but we just don't have the resources to put into this. If you dig it up and find something, please call us. Well, eventually this thing became such a viral sensation, like I said, on the east side of Columbus, that homicide detectives from Columbus Police contacted her. They said, we are bringing cadaver dogs over. This was yesterday, 5 p.m. They were homicide detectives who brought over 2 cadaver dogs. Separately, each dog stuck their nose in the hole and sat down, meaning the dogs hit on a potential cadaver. So this has become something pretty wild here. She had been joking about it in her videos, like, oh, I might be a part of a true crime story, haha. But when this happened and she went on live, TikTok live, this really shook her. You could tell she got tears. She started to sort of cry. Like, it was just unbelievable. She never really expected this to turn out this way. Now, detectives said, listen, it might not mean anything. This is not conclusive that the dogs hit on something, but we are going to come back Friday morning and we are going to excavate. So they're getting that rug out of Katie Santry's backyard sometime today. And we'll find out. I don't know if we'll find out anything today or not. Absolutely keeping an eye on this. So is the rest of the universe. As I said, my friend Melanie Simpson, who lives in Alabama, she sent me a message. She's like, have you seen this? My sister who lives in Oregon, she texted last night, have you seen this? Like,
that's crazy.
I'm telling you, it's like a nationwide phenomenon, and it's all focused on Katie Santry in East Columbus.
I wonder how many people are going to be there watching.
Well, I definitely know the news. Like, she had news reporters there last night. So there were people who were absolutely on the scene as homicide detectives and the dogs hit on this, got a hit or however, right, whatever the term is. But yeah, so I know there's some traction. She had friends ready to start digging.
Yeah. The
day homicide detectives called yesterday, she had a group of friends ready to start digging, and they're like, nope. And in fact, they won't let her film anymore. So I'm not sure exactly.
Well, they don't want to mess up a potential crime scene.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't know that we'll find out through her any updates today. Maybe we will. I don't know. I'll keep an eye on it, guys.
Oh, my gosh.
It's pretty wild. Yeah. Amazon, preparing for the holiday season, needs employees to help cover the volume. Of course, this happens every year. The company's looking to hire 250,000 people nationally for full-time and part-time and seasonal positions. Pay starts at $18 an hour, benefits like healthcare, etc. So, hey, if you're looking for a job, even something that's seasonal, Amazon would love to hire you. A couple music notes. Eminem's going to be a grandpa. His daughter, Haley Jade, is pregnant, and he made the announcement yesterday, so I can't believe it. Grandpa Eminem. And please don't hate me for this one. Mariah Carey posted a video yesterday of her lounging in a private jet as her song All I Want for Christmas starts to play.
This is your captain speaking. Welcome aboard, Mariah. We are headed to the North Pole.
Not yet. Sorry. always rush me.
She said they always rush me. So she's even saying, even the Queen of Christmas says it's too early to kick off the Christmas season.
Yeah, I think you gotta wait till after Halloween.
Yeah, why not?
I mean,
why not?
Anybody can
Sell
do
stuff
whatever
in
the
stores,
heck
though.
They can.
Oh, yeah.
I told you 2 weeks ago I was at the mall.
Nothing more depressing than seeing Christmas stuff out in September.
Yeah, I was at the mall, and J.C. Penney was loaded with Christmas stuff already.
Picking up a new pair of Skechers, were you?
No, I was getting stuff for the wedding. Remember, I told you. I was at the mall. By the way, that was Tuttle Mall, and the Sears now is a Spirit Halloween.
Is it?
Yes.
All
For
right.
now.
Spirit Halloween. I'll tell you what, the whole world could die, and somehow Spirit Halloween would open up a shop.
Yes,
someplace.
Spirit Halloween and cockroaches,
Yeah,
the
exactly.
two things that last forever.
Hey, it's September. You guys want to get in here?
I do love a Spirit Halloween, though. It's fun.
We'll trade for that can of beans.
All right. Those are your three things.